Now, there's one here from Panther Troll, and this one says, will Crawley, Paul I'm assuming, not Steve, face up to his inability to objectively see Panthers as the greatest NRL team? Swallow the pill and enjoy the rest of your life being reminded of the three-peat. Paras lasted 40 years, blah, blah. Paul Crawley is big enough and ugly enough to look after himself. And however, I've got to go into bat for him. I don't agree with Crawls on some things, but Matty, your Panthers fans can be guilty of recency bias. We had Crawls actually do a piece with David Middleton recently having a look back at dynasties because I sort of thought, okay, well, let's look at there's two other teams who have won more than three straight. That's the great St George team, the 50s and 60s, and the pride of the league, the Bunnies, between 25 and 32, they won 7 premierships in 8 years, including 5 straight. And where Penrith are losing players to rival clubs, these guys had the depression, they had wars, they had everything else that they were dealing with. So there is so much more. I invite everyone, I'll try and post a link up when we send this out. Have a look through these dynasties of what other clubs have gone through, because I know it's great. There's no one denying how great this Panthers side are, because they are terrific to watch. But looking back through and having a look at what these organisations did back in the day to overcome what they did to win these things, and there are some really good stretches of games, because even that 80s Para team, that was 4 titles in 6 years. So with a couple of grand final losses around there too. So it's always hard to compare eras, but I think everyone that just doesn't automatically get on, they're the greatest because they're the ones who have achieved something that no one else has done before. It just doesn't wash for mine. But what do you guys think?
Does he say rugby league team or NRL team? We're all about detail.
Well, NRL team, it's since 98. So if there's anyone since, there's no question.
Since 98, no question.
No question.
Salary cap era is bottom. I always just come back to the salary cap.
Yeah.
And that's something that we have. The Panthers side has achieved that no other side previously has done, and that's the key for me.
And the key point is the salary cap is meant for this to not happen.
Yeah, that's right.
And they still do it anyway.
Yep. And just the turnover of players. They're elite level players. They're not fringe players, And like even Kirk Capewell, isn't. I'm not saying he's in the Steve Crichton kick-out class. But Capewell, he just has success everywhere he goes. He had success at Cronulla, success at Penrith, played in a grand final with the Broncos. Like he's a quality footballer. Panthers let him go.
Yeah. You know who? I think Penrith get their dues. I think they get their just dues on how they've gone. The guy who doesn't get it is Ivan Cleary. I still don't think he's quite.
Yeah, because that's not his character trait, Modsy. No. He just doesn't welcome the media in to explain, understand, and appreciate what he is achieving.
Yeah.
He just doesn't, I've reached out to him prior to the grand final, in the week of the grand final, about just trying to understand how he's got there. And he didn't want a bar of it. And he said, Dave, it's not personal. It's just not my go.
But that's the thing. I love watching the videos, Matt, of post-grand final when he talks to the players, the fly on the wall, that relationship with his players. He had a transplant and gave a kidney to his brother. He's done so much. What's wrong with your team? Why don't they promote him more?
It's the beauty of the job that he's done, because he's seen most of those kids come through from 14s Harold Matts through to Jersey Flegg and NSG Ball and that kind of thing. So I've got a real issue with a bugbear with the debate about the greatest team, because it's not they've got different teams for those 3 different premierships, but that's where you bring in people like Matt Cameron and Ivan Cleary, where they've had to they're the mainstays of the last 3 years rather than a team, because it changes all the time.